And we're here with PJ Braun at the gym in Guadalajara, Jalisco, right before the Mexico Super Show. There are IFBB Pro League shows, both amateur and pro levels, all over the world now. Guadalajara is now a hotbed for bodybuilding and fitness, as well as all of Mexico and Latin America. PJ, welcome to Guadalajara, Jalisco, to the gym here. Right before the show, we've just recorded about 15 athletes, amateur and pro athletes. How do you see the quality level of the athletes here?
You know, I guess I shouldn't say it like this because I feel like it's perhaps insulting to the Latin American countries, but I'm always amazed at how good the competitors are down here, especially the women. I always think that women are going to be way far behind like where we are in the States, but it seems like down here it's far more popular for women to be doing bikini or not wellness. Down here, of course, it's walking around this gym, there's at least 10, 12 girls that look like pros. Maybe they are, I don't know. I don't know anybody here, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely catching up worldwide and becoming very, very popular, the sport of fitness and bodybuilding. Now, I know you had mentioned something on wellness. A lot of people back in the States don't know what that is. What's your take on that?
It is my mission to educate the States. I know you're into it too. So I love wellness, and for those of you who don't know, there is no wellness division yet in the United States.
But we're pushing for it.
We are pushing, and I'll tell you a little inside story. JM told me at one point that they would never have wellness in the USA. And then when I was in Colombia earlier, and this was this year, right?
Yeah, I know, this year is flying by. Yeah, the Olympia Amateur and the Chiru Classic Colombia.
So after that, Minion Senior looked at all the pictures, looked at the quality of the competition, and James said, yeah, it looks like we're going to start bringing it up to us soon enough. They impressed a lot of people. So the wellness division, I don't want to say it's what bikini should be, maybe what bikini could have been if they really pushed the whole like Natalia Mello look a little bit more. So these girls have
a little more voluptuous, a little more harder, a little curvier, harder, and they train hard.
They train hard, and what I like about it is you don't have to hold yourself back. And I find that in the States, with the way that the bikini division has gone, and you've got to comply to the division, you're not really allowed to grow your muscle too much anymore. They want a very streamlined look, especially in the lower body. These girls down here, I mean, they're thoroughbreds with their lower bodies. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's the look. I mean, if you look at a lot of the paparazzi magazines, a lot of the mainstream magazines, the guys like the thickness.
Of course. Thick is in. Nobody wants skinny anymore. Come on.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at the Mexico Super Show.
So Blackstone Labs, we've been doing as much as we can to try to sponsor as many events down here in South America as possible. We're calling it the World Tour. You know, as you saw earlier in the year, I was in Colombia. Fabian was without me in Bolivia. Now I'm back here for Mexico. So I have a seminar tomorrow right at the host hotel, which is the Wyndham, I believe.
Yeah, the Wyndham and the Holiday Inn, they're both connected. It's like a super hotel. It's like 3 city blocks long.
So we have at 10 a.m., I believe, tomorrow, a seminar. One of the main things we're going to be talking about is the difference between classic bodybuilding and actual open bodybuilding. We'll probably break down all of the men's divisions and explain, because I think there's still confusion of where people are supposed to go with their bodies. And you've probably noticed now in men's physique, some of those guys are bigger than the classic bodybuilders because there's no weight limits there. So it's an interesting thing that I've seen the past year. But then for the rest of the weekend, there is the Mexico Super Show, which is, from what I understand, a pretty large fitness extravaganza. There'll be a big expo. And
it'll be live on mdlatino.mx, their Mexican version of MD Latino.
I'll be tagging along with them as much as I can when I have my downtime. And then at the end, what I'm most excited about is I get to actually judge this weekend.
Oh, okay. All right, PJ. Well, if those people out there that don't know PJ Braun, he was like one of the best top-notch amateur bodybuilders from the United States for many years, and a lot of great publications. So you've probably seen him around in digital media and print media.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel that although I have not sat on a panel and taken a test to become a judge, I've watched so many shows. I worked with the MD for years.
Yeah, you know what the judges are looking for now.
I used to cover shows back in the day, way before there even was an RX Muscle. I was actually helping out covering the show. So I've got a good eye for what the judges want. And now the wellness division is not in the States yet, so they'll have to take their time figuring out what they want. But as far as what they're doing now, I know what they want, and I was asked to be the head judge.
That's a lot of fun. Okay, and you're going to be the head judge in the wellness class?
In the wellness class, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of talent. Definitely wellness is taking off in IFBB Amateur. And I think that's really the only thing they have left right now. So, you know, we could sell a lot more tickets in the crowd by bringing the wellness division. I know we keep bringing it up, but it's growing, and it's nothing to take away from bikini fitness, because not everybody can be wellness and not everybody can bikini fitness. So it's kind of like why they launched Classic Physique here. So I just came from Spain, where they had on the pro division, they had the Classic Physique. They had the 212, but they didn't have open weight. They had bikini fitness. They had figure and women's physique, but they didn't have women's bodybuilding. So, you know, there's more events on the calendar internationally, and there's more opportunities to qualify pro, and as a pro, get to the Olympia and other top-notch shows like the Arnold, which brings me to another topic of discussion. The Arnold Classic Ohio has always seemed to be like the most classy, one of the more classy pro and amateur shows. But all these pro-am shows that are coming up, I just came from Spain last weekend, and let me tell you something. On an amateur division, let me tell you that, look out, United States, because it's just going to keep coming in from the international level. It was a great pro-am show, and I think really this is the direction things are going to see, not just Arnold's now, but Olympic amateurs, super shows, Cheru Classics, and these are kind of the new classics that are going to be coming along.
Yeah, and there was a point where maybe 10 years ago, if you had won the championship of your respected country, a lot of times you were really overlooked once you made it to the States and the IFBB. It's not the case anymore. Now people are becoming the champions of their countries, or they're winning the Arnolds or the Olympia shows, and they're coming in and making an impact right away. I mean, if you look at the open division of the IFBB bikini, the top 5 girls, I mean, you've got Brazil, you've got, where else do we have represented? I think Chile, maybe?
Yeah, Chile, Brazil, Mexico. You're seeing a lot of foreign names coming up in the bikini division. And we're also seeing in the 212 from Latin America and also Eastern Europe, 212 division growing like crazy. You know, it was a perfect fit for international.
Absolutely. And you're seeing a little different look, though, in the 212 now. The guys are a little taller.
A little more aesthetic.
Very aesthetic now. Very aesthetic. I've seen some of the guys that I love do well over the years kind of get pushed back a little bit in favor of these more aesthetic guys.
I just saw in Spain in the pro show, Sami Al-Haddad win another show, another amazing physique. And these guys like 45 years old.
Very, very classically beautiful physique. And that's kind of like the look that you would expect to see in the classic bodybuilding division, which I still don't know if has a true identity yet.
Yeah, it's definitely growing. I like the way it's growing. It just takes time. You know, these new categories take time, and, you know, there's so many shows now. I'm not really worried about, a lot of people are worried about, oh, the shows last forever, so many divisions, but not every show has to have the same divisions. That's what makes it interesting. People have to keep up with the npcnewsonline.com and other blogs online to keep up with the calendars, and that's how it should be. Because if you're an athlete or in the industry, in the sport, if you're not keeping up with the calendars, you're not really participating.
No, what would be great is if some of the promoters that are doing well and have had success over the years, if they could have more events where they're splitting, you know, it could still be the quote unquote, you know, show, but maybe they'll have 2 days. One day is just a couple of divisions and the other day is the other, rather than just omitting some of the divisions like they do now. I think at the amateur level, you're going to have multiple days. That's just the way that it is.
That's where it's going internationally, but it's creating more content. It's creating more awareness. It's selling tickets. It's bringing more followers into the sport. People are telling me bodybuilding is dead. I'm like, no, it's not. Look at the web. Look at the internet. There's so much content out there on bodybuilding. It's just our conception of what bodybuilding is today.
Well, it's always evolving, but if there was no bodybuilding, none of these other divisions would exist. Because at the end of the day, no matter what they say, all the guys that are doing men's physique, all the guys that are doing classic bodybuilding, they all aspired to be like some great bodybuilder, whether it be Arnold or Ronnie or Jay Cutler, Lee Labrada. It was some great bodybuilder that inspired them, because it's about progression. And if you are a bodybuilder at heart, whether you're male or female, and you're picking up pink dumbbells for the first time at 19 years old in
Planet Fitness,
you're aspiring to grow to be the best body you can be, which is what bodybuilding is all about.
Exactly. Okay. So I know you're pushing the back to Blackstone Labs. You're pushing the brand all over Colombia, Mexico now. You're getting heavy orders. Congratulations. I know international is not easy one to get into, especially Latin America, and especially, you know, you have some very powerful products. What have been some of the top sellers here in Mexico?
Well, in all of South America, not just Mexico, our pre-workouts are huge. So our Dust V2 and our Dust X. Now, what's really cool about Blackstone Labs, I'm gonna pat myself in the back a little bit, is we're making custom formulas for each country. So if there is an ingredient that perhaps in the USA is not okay in Mexico, we get rid of that ingredient and we make a new formula specifically for them. We're okay with running smaller runs for each country so they can have the most optimal compliant product as possible, rather than just having a watered down, like here, everybody can take this product.
Absolutely, and it's very important because you're keeping the integrity of the formulation.
And that to me is something that, and I told my guys about a year and a half ago. It was after not this past Arnold, the one before that. You know, we got a lot of praise in the booth, and I told my guys, look, we have to stay cutting edge. That's who we are. We're never going to be a true mainstream brand. If we do, we're going to lose our identity and we'll probably disappear. So because of that, we've got to stay on top of the chemistry side of things, and most likely I'm going to have a lot of headaches when it comes to FDA and lawsuits and things like that. But I will never, ever sell myself out because of how much I love this industry and how much I love supplementation. This is such a big part of my life for almost 25 years now.
Well, I'm looking around the gym here in Guadalajara, Jalisco. By the way, this gym is packed. It's 8 o'clock at night, and the place is like a nightclub.
It's like a dream gym. It really is. Any meathead would go nuts in here.
Yeah. And I really see a lot of people are like, oh, you know, those products are too hardcore. There's not enough bodybuilders. Everybody here in this gym loves the hardcore weights, even the sort of like functional training equipment. And they're all could be using Blackstone Labs products some way or another. There are SKUs out there, and it's hardcore, but that's what the gym is. The gym is really to make a body transformation. It's not to watch TV. It's not to get on YouTube or take selfies. It's to change your life. And you know, Blackstone Labs offers products can make that body transformation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I am really behind one of our products called Juiced Up, which to your average, you know, bodybuilder is perhaps a boring product, but it's such a cool product because it is a full day supply of fruits and greens in a very
high frequency foods.
Yeah, and so many people miss out on the importance of that stuff because when you're getting those phytonutrients in, not only is it going to help your immune system a lot, it's going to help your digestive system, it's going to help your nervous system, and all of these things being optimal make you perform better in the gym, you get sick less, you recover faster. These are things that people miss out on. They wonder why when they're training hard they get sick or they're not recovering right, and anybody and everyone can and should take a product like that.
Well, it's hard to be in an anabolic state when you're always sick. Absolutely. So if you're healthy, you know, everything is optimally functioning in your body, then you're going to be more likely to have that anabolic window. You know, when we say anabolic, it's a natural word to be anabolic. If you're going to grow a muscle, you want to be in the anabolic state. Even if you're natty, you know, you only have so many hours of sleep a day. You know, most people don't get enough sleep. And the fruits and vegetables are scientifically, clinically proven to have 25% less nutrients than our parents' generation, and we're not eating enough. And then let's face it, internationally, a lot of the fruits and vegetables aren't as clean, so there aren't always a lot of options for on-the-go people. And let's face it, most of these cities are big metropolises, there's traffic, and you have to really judge and time your day. If you're the average guy, middle class, or an executive, you leave early in the morning, what do? You take your food with you, right? Are you gonna take a bunch of fruits and vegetables, or
a bushel of fruit on your shoulder, like just keep a banana lady.
Or you can keep some powder, you know, and take some Juiced Up and keep yourself cranking optimum and not getting sick and broken down.
And the thing is, I have my grandparents taking this product. There's no one that can't benefit from it, but people, they want the fastest results possible. But I'll tell you, the fast track to success will also lead you injured, sick, taken back. You've got to look at the big picture more than anything. And realistically, like you just said, who's going to carry around 10, 11, 12 pieces of fruit and vegetables all day? Nobody. You can't substitute real food. You can't. You can't.
Except for the people selling on the corners, but they
maybe they can actually have the easier aspects to it. I never say that you should substitute real food, but when you can't get it all in, use a supplement like that.
You got to be a realist, especially in today's busy day. Get any thanks? Anybody inspired your career? And also as a bodybuilder, and also inspired you to create the startup company. It's no longer a startup, obviously, it's a big brand, but who do you give thanks to your athletic achievements and to your resilient brand, Blackstone Labs?
There's a few people. I never had one true idol. The first introduction that I had to bodybuilding was from my biological father, who was a bodybuilder, and he gave me the Arnold Schwarzenegger Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. Like so many other young guys, I read it from start to finish numerous times, and I taught myself how to work out with sand weights in my bedroom when I was 12 years old. And that's how it all started. And then from there, I was really training for sports, and I got so into it that in college, I had met a guy named Rene Abreu, who is a brilliant, brilliant guy, was 4 years older than me, and he was in a customized program for exercise physiology and nutrition. And he was preaching so much on the importance of proper nutrition and food to be the best bodybuilder you could be. So I started taking things to a much more analytical approach. And he was the first guy to tell me, listen, your genetics aren't that great, so you're gonna need all these other options. And I didn't take it as an insult. I knew that I had to have things at my advantage. So I always give him a lot of credit. Later on in my career, I will say that I really looked up to Jay Cutler a lot as a person and a businessman. I still talk to Jay all the time. Sometimes if I have a decision, even on signing an athlete, I'll call up Jay and be like, what do you think? And he's just a straight shooter. And you know, I've actually talked about this with Mr. Mannion. He's probably got the best business mindset in the sport. So those guys are guys that have all influenced me in a really positive way. But overall, my stepdad, who I call Dad, he's just the best man that I know, and he's really the one guy that I would call a role model. He's now basically my partner in the company. He handles all my sales. He works with Fabian, as you know, every day, and he's real proud to see what we're doing internationally as well, and he's so passionate about it because he saw me doing it from the time I was 12 years old. So that's the one guy that I always give thanks to is my dad. You know, he may be my stepdad, but he's my dad to me, and he's the reason why that I'm even here right now. He supported me. I always tell this one story, and I won't waste your time. If he didn't do this, there might not be a Blackstone Labs, because Blackstone Labs, of course, was sprouted from me being a bodybuilder. And after the 2007 North Americans, I was shredded. I was in amazing shape. Steve Weinberger gave me a great critique in his gym. I walked in, and I think I got like 9th place, and I was so devastated. George Farah walked up to me, and he goes, you look amazing. You have terrible gyno. You're never going to do well until you get it removed. And Dave Palumbo said the same thing, and I was a young, broke bodybuilder. I didn't know what to do about that. So my dad, my parents were broke. They had nothing. He met me privately, and he said, I don't want your mom to know this, but I've been saving this money, you know, nest egg money for a while. Just please go and get that surgery. I believe in you. I know you're going to turn this into something huge. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I know someday you'll pay me back tenfold. I want you to get it done. And that was what enabled me to get that surgery. Went on, became a very good bodybuilder. Didn't make it pro, but I was a pretty popular national level bodybuilder. And the passion that I had never died.
Now you're living the American dream with Blackstone Labs. Now remind us, PJ, of that website and say it proud.
www.blackstonelabs.com. And of course, I'm very proud. We are in our 7th year now, going strong.
Okay. Well, that's PJ Braun, CEO, the man at Blackstone Labs, top-notch American bodybuilder, amateur bodybuilder, and going global with Team Blackstone Labs here in Mexico, just days out before the Mexico Super Show. Catch us online at musculardevelopment.com and mdlatino.com and mdlatino.mx.